Hey guys, how you doing today? Just got off work. As the Wall Street bet scandal rages and the sides are drawn and the fight continues, my channel gets censored on YouTube. Joe Biden considers an invasion in Venezuela. In the midst of all of this, Angus Reid releases a very small poll on attitudes in Canada regarding the basic income. The results are very, very telling, and I'd like to do some analysis on that poll as well as analysis on the favorability of the candidates and how that affects something like the basic income. Let me be really clear about my position on a basic income as a communist. I see a basic income as a transitionary measure, absolutely necessary to transition us away from capitalism, but I see it as a transition to the more complete solution of transferring shares away from the capitalist class into the hands of the working class and the full-scale elimination of the capitalists from our national conversations. The basic income is has equal support, according to Angus Reid's poll, amongst Liberals and NDP. 3 out of every 4, that's 75% of both Liberals and NDP support the basic income. The Conservatives, of course, are almost the exact inverse. 3 out of every 4 do not want to see the basic income come in. That's right in line with the conservative ideology, which can be summed up as F you, I got mine. Help no one, expect people to live up to some absurd standard that doesn't actually exist, and I'm just going to put my mittens on and go die, right? Basically, is the conservative ideology at this moment. What is interesting about this is that this means that the basic income can no longer be considered a fringe issue, right? Supermajorities of 2 federal parties, and of course the Green Party has already endorsed a basic income. It's already a party platform. So supermajorities, as well as already a party platform in 3 of the federal parties. You have to sit up and you have to take notice of that. What it means more than anything is that when you are talking to people, the majority of them, it's most likely that they will endorse a basic income. For lots of really solid reasons, right? 1, it's more affordable than what we're doing now. I've said this over and over again on this channel, and I'll continue saying it over and over and over again. We pay more to maintain our system of poverty than it would cost to alleviate it. Anybody who's standing in front of you and saying that the basic income is unaffordable is either lying to you on purpose in order to deceive you, or doesn't actually understand what they're talking about, right? Dealing with poverty issues is not free. It is expensive to keep people in poverty. It is expensive to pay for food banks, policing, emergency services, administration of support systems, having means-tested support systems. It is expensive to maintain these things. And if we simply took the money that we were spending to maintain the system of poverty that we have in this country and gave it to the people who were in poverty, it would ameliorate their poverty immediately. It would be more efficient. It would be faster. It's a small government solution. The great irony here is that it is not supported by conservatives, because right now conservatives in our country just want people to suffer. They're not interested in finding solutions to the people suffering. They're not interested in that, because if they were interested in that, then they would be supporting a basic income, because it would be cheaper for them in the end. It would save them money. If they genuinely cared about their tax dollars, the conservatives would be supporting a basic income, but they're not. They've fallen into ideologue territory. So, at this stage in the game, it has turned into a strategy game. It's no longer how do we convince people that the basic income is a good idea. We've achieved that goal. We've achieved that goal. That goal is over. The basic income is a good idea. We all agree. Centrists agree. That's the Liberals. The left agrees. That's the NDP. We've won that battle. Victory. Now it is a strategy game of how do we actually get this made into policy. And the reality is that the way to do that is to abandon the Conservatives and the Liberals completely. The support that Justin Trudeau has is soft. It's very, very soft. If you look at the favorability in the polling data, you can see that 3 out of 10 people really dislike Trudeau. Whereas for people like Jagmeet Singh, his disapproval is softer. 1 out of 10 really dislike him, while 3 moderately disapprove of him. Whereas with Justin Trudeau, if you disagree with him, you really disagree with him. 3 out of 10 disagree with Justin Trudeau and what he's doing, and then 2 out of 10 moderately disagree. And then on the other side, it's the support for the Liberals is soft. So what we need to do right now is we need to start joining the NDP in massive numbers. We need to start supporting the NDP in massive numbers. And we need to make it very clear to the NDP that our support is completely 100% contingent on the basic income, right? That we will not support the Liberals if they do not support a basic income. We will not support the Conservatives if they do not support a basic income. This is the strategy that we should be focused on and we should be fighting on, because we should be scaring the hell out of the Liberal Party with this, because their leader has stood up and said, sure, we understand it would be more affordable. Sure, we understand it's a more efficient system. Sure, we passed a basic income with the CERB and decided not to maintain it. Sure, we gave 6 times the amount of money to wealthy oligarchs instead of, and while simultaneously claiming that the basic income would be unaffordable. Sure, we're adding in all kinds of bureaucratic administration, all that, but we just don't see a path for the basic income. Well, then we shouldn't see a path to their re-election. And you should be saying this to literally everybody you know, right? I'm voting NDP because they support a basic income. And if you are an NDP-er, then you need to be saying to your party, we need to be pounding the pulpit on the basic income. We must be pounding the pulpit on the basic income, because 3/4 of their party supports it, but guess what? 3/4 of the Liberal also support it, while their leader is saying that we're not going to do it, right? So if the election comes up and Jagmeet Singh starts pounding on the pulpit about the basic income and turns the basic income into the election issue, the Liberals either need to completely acquiesce or lose power. And they can. We've seen it happen here in Canada. The Liberals' support is soft. They don't have strong supporters. People have abandoned the Liberal Party in the past. I don't see why they shouldn't abandon them now. The only wrinkle in this plan, of course, is that people are hyper-focused on COVID-19, as they should be. COVID-19 is a crisis. So what we need to do is we need to connect the basic income to COVID-19. We need to say, hey, do you think homeless people who work in our long-term care homes, by the way, do you think homeless people who work in our long-term care homes would have spread the virus around if they were able to secure food and shelter for themselves because they had a basic income? Do you believe that people who are on the streets are a threat for spreading the virus around? Do you think that this is a major health concern, to have people wandering our streets without a place to call their own? Do you think that, like, shelters are a major vector for the coronavirus? If we eliminated shelters through a basic income project, that would also eliminate this high-level vector for spreading the coronavirus. This kind of talking is what we need to be saying to people to convince them in this moment that the basic income is what Canadians need. Canadians need to be freed from capital to be able to actually escape the horrors that are being created and perpetrated by capital. Other nations, other non-capital-based nations, are faring much, much better. China has outright eliminated the coronavirus. China being the nation which the coronavirus originated in. They should be the last ones to be able to get rid of the coronavirus, frankly. And yet, here we are, on the downslope from a second wave, we hope, on the downslope, while our American brothers are still slogging through it. So we have seen completely, like eyes wide open, that capitalism fails us during times of crises and also generates crises for us to have to deal with. And it's a system that must be replaced. And because not only is it a system that must be replaced through the share removal of the capitalist class and the transfer of those shares to the working class, but also we need to have a basic income in place as a transitionary method away from the disasters that capitalism have given us, as a way to protect the people that capitalists have abandoned, as a way to shield the populace from the worst outcomes of capitalism, and also giving them the tool that they need in order to simply secure food and shelter amidst further crises. Like, once the climate change crisis really begins to unfold in our country due to our negligence, we are going to need a basic income. Once we, it's astounding to me that the Liberals have actually worked to slow down and decimate an industry while simultaneously doing absolutely nothing to protect its workers. That's astounding. And it's something that Justin Trudeau should answer for, and it's something that Jagmeet Singh should ask him on the national stage. Why have you abandoned Albertan workers while simultaneously doing nothing to ameliorate their suffering, such as a basic income? That's something that Justin Trudeau should be faced with, and it's something that he should have to answer, and Jagmeet Singh should be the man who asks that question to Justin Trudeau. Okay, guys, this is the end of this one. Please like the like button right there about. Please hit that like button. It's super easy to do. It's completely free. It helps me out enormously. It tells the algorithm. It helps the algorithm spread my video around. Hit the share button. Is there? Yeah, the share button's right there. Hit the share button. Share this around on all your stuff. Get more traffic into here, please. I'm a swiftly growing channel. I'm aiming for that 1,000 mark. That's when I can start monetizing and start thinking about making this my full-time job. And hey, if you're interested in making this my full-time job, my Patreon is in the description below. It's just down there, right? Please consider just donating $1. Right? You're donating $1 to the Project of Revolution. We're working as hard as we can, guys, to make this happen, and I'm glad that you're here with me. You guys are making the right decisions. You guys are doing well. You're fighting the good fight. Do not let capitalists gaslight you. That's all they're doing, is they're constantly and consistently gaslighting us. We are on the side of righteousness. We are on the side of truth. Good luck. We're going to need it.